Hello children, welcome back to one another video class in English. This time we shall deal with a chapter from the main textbook Honeydew. We will learn the fifth chapter, The Summit Within, which is written by H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. In this lesson, he has talked about the experience of climbing the world's highest summit. He tells the readers how the physical conquest changes one on a personal and spiritual level. After talking about climbing the physical summit, he has also talked about the task of climbing the summit within us. Let us go to the detailed explanation of the lesson. The author begins the story by telling the readers about the rush of multiple emotions he felt as he stood on the highest point of Mount Everest. The huge panorama below them made them feel little and modest. Climbing up to the top had made him so tired that his physical strength was glad it was over. However, rather than feeling proud and joyous of climbing the highest peak, he could feel some sadness within him. The only probable reason for this feeling could be that he had now become proficient by climbing the highest point, and all the roads from that point will only lead downwards. The author writes that whenever he thinks about having climbed the summit of Everest, he cannot help but think about another significant summit, which is of the mind, which is not easier to climb either. It is not any less challenging. Once he had climbed Everest, returned and recovered from the physical exhaustion, he began to ask himself the reason as to why he climbed the highest peak. It was quite difficult to understand why he accomplished had such an impact on his imagination at the time, even when it was a thing of the past. He knew it each day as it passed. The experience would get old. At that very moment, he was unsure if the memory would remain or fade away slowly. All the thoughts that came into the author's mind made him ask himself as to why people climb mountains. It is not that easy to answer in the simplest way possible, could be because it is there. Climbing a mountain poses great challenges, and we all know that overcoming these obstacles brings pleasure to climbers. In climbing a mountain, these obstacles are physical, such as tolerance, willpower, and determination to keep you going. The exhibition of these physical qualities and one's awareness towards them, on the other hand, is thrilling, and same as the case of for the author. The author seems to have a more personal answer to his question as to why he wanted to climb mountains. He had been immensely attracted by mountains since his childhood. He used to feel lost and unhappy in the plains when he was away from the mountains. He feels mountains are nature in its best form. Although their magnificence and beauty pose a significant challenge, the author, along with a lot of people, believe that mountains provide a platform for sharing personal thoughts and feelings directly with God. Once, having found out why to climb mountains, the question, why Everest, remains. Probably because it's the highest in the world and has resisted many attempts of people trying to climb it. To reach the summit of Everest, it asks for every bit of energy in one's body. It is a harsh struggle with ice and huge rocks. Once you have taken this hard challenge, there is no option for you to give up. Even if life at stake, because the passage backwards possess the same difficulties and challenges as the passage upwards. When finally, after overcoming all these obstacles, one reaches the summit, there are feelings of accomplishment, excitement, joy, victory, and happiness. There is a feeling of having fought a battle and won. The author mentions how looking at another peak transported him to another world. He experienced a change within himself which can only be called mystical. The peak attracted the author to itself with the help of its greatness, beauty, serenity, and difficulties it poses on the way. He says it was a challenge difficult to resist. The author looks back and discovers that he had not yet revealed why he actually climbed Everest. He compares it by asking a question as to why one breathes or why one helps their neighbor or why one does a good deed. It is impossible to find an answer to these questions. He also mentions the fact that Everest is not just a physical climb, but it changes the person in a way that makes him aware how small he and his problems are in the infinite universe. The overcoming of physical barriers is only one bit of the accomplishment. There is a lot more to it, like the sense of accomplishment, the satisfying urge to rise above the current circumstances. It is the never ending desire for adventure in a person. So, the experience is not just physical, but emotional and spiritual too. He begins evaluating a usual climb to a summit where you are sharing the rope with another climber. As you make yourself firm, he moves ahead as he carves the hard ice with his feet only to further fix the rope to help you inch your way up. It is a difficult climb that puts pressure on every nerve as you take a step forward. He mentions how it has been recorded by some famous climbers for having taken help from the others and how it was the only thing they needed at the moment to move forward. Else, they would have given up. It is indeed very difficult to breathe at such high altitudes and cold temperatures. It is so hard that you curse yourself for signing up for this. It pushes you to give up, and the idea of going back looks relieving at that moment. Then, almost instantly, you are out of that mood. You feel something in yourself that does not let you give up, and you move on. Your companion is always there with you. As you climb and look at the distance left, you feel as if there is no end. You and your companion both look at each other in search of motivation, and then suddenly, without even realizing it at first, you are already at the summit. As you look around once you reach the summit, you tell yourself that it was worth all the struggle and hardships. You can see all other peaks through the clouds, and if you are fortunate enough, there would be sunlight on them. The peaks nearby look as jeweled necklace around the neck of your summit. As you look down, you can look at the vast valleys from a distance. To look down from the summit of a mountain is an honorable and enhancing experience. As you are on the top of a mountain, you bow down and pay your respect to whichever god you worship. On Everest, the author left a picture of Guru Nanak. His fellow climbers Rawat, Fudorji left pictures and relics of goddess Durga and Buddha respectively. Edmund Hillary built a cross under the head of a rock in the snow. He mentioned that these are not symbols of accomplishment but of respect and admiration. This is because the experience of having climbed the summit changes you completely. He talks about another summit, the summit within one's own mind. He further explains how there is a mountain peak within each person's mind, and how he must climb it to attain complete awareness of oneself. It is fearful and cannot be measured. Moreover, no one except you can climb it. He further explains how physically climbing a mountain is similar to climbing the one within. The effects of both the climbs are also the same. It changes you completely, irrespective of the nature of climb being physical, emotional, or spiritual. It teaches you a lot about the world around you and one inside you. Towards the very end of the lesson, the author goes about thinking that his experience as an Everester, it has given him both the strength and inspiration to deal with life's painful experiences with determination and firmness. Just like climbing, Everest was a worthwhile experience. Conquering the summit within is equally worthwhile. Moreover, internal summits are higher than the physical summit of Everest. So, throughout the lesson, Ahluwalia has given us an inspiration. We should be mentally also strong enough to deal with the life problems. As an Everester, when he climbed the Mount Everest, that action has provided him with mental strength also. Now he is able to do whatever difficult things in life. So I hope all of you enjoy the lesson. Thank you.